nigga forfeit. Yeah, cause I'm the realest. Hey, niggas talking short shit. Nah, I need $1 million.
Big stepper, yeah, bitch, I be steppin'. Coolin' kit with the flip switch, bitch, that's the weapon. No drama.
Welcome to New York Giants Full Access.
This legend bring them sounds in one time.
I'm hard, and we got you. And that's it, man. Go purchase Big Pat Sports Talk merch and support the family, man. And welcome to Big Pat Sports Talk. Thank you for your support. What's going on, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, all platforms? Welcome to another episode of New York Giants Full Access with your boy Big Pat Sports Talk. And today we're going to be talking about how Mr. Brian Flores absolutely outcoached our Brian, named coach Brian Daboll, in the Vikings blowout victory against the New York Giants this past Sunday. Brian Flores put on a clinic against Brian Daboll. And from what I've seen in that game, from calling the game, is first and foremost, they had no respect for Brian Daboll as a coach. They had no respect for Brian Daboll as an offensive mind. And they had no respect for this New York Giants team. Those are three major issues. One, nobody has any respect for your team, so everybody comes into each Giants game expecting to dominate you, because you haven't given them anything to show that you shouldn't be dominated from the past year and going into this year. In the years past, before this new regime got in here, we got a reputation of being a pushover. And Brian Daboll, you haven't turned that around quite yet. I think you can, but you haven't did it quite yet. So every team comes into each game thinking that, hey, we're just going to push you boys over. We're going to put the pressure on you guys, and you guys are going to quit, and you're going to look like a junior varsity team once we're done bullying you. And to be honest with you, it happens a whole lot. This team gets down maybe 14-3. It's like the game is over. This team gets down 10 points. It's like the game is over. It's like they quit. In certain instances, not saying all the time, but in certain instances, it looks like that. And it looked like that yesterday. When this team was in turmoil, we didn't see you getting guys fired up. We didn't see you fired up pacing the sidelines like how Sean McVay does or how Dan Campbell does. They don't take on their coach's identity when things get going and things get tough. They don't take on your identity. A lot of the times they just lay down, people looking sad, people looking confused, people not angry, people just staring like a deer in headlights like, can this get over? When you're leader, man, you got to make these guys fight during the darkest of times, because that's what builds character. That shows you who you are. Yeah, we're down 17-3, but you think we're going to give up? No, we're going to keep coming at you. And a lot of times you can come back and win those games. But it wasn't the case with Brian Flores against Brian Daboll Sunday in MetLife Stadium in the 100th year anniversary homecoming game. It wasn't. It was just a beatdown. They did not respect this team at all. Secondly, they did not respect your offensive mind. Brian Flores ran one coverage basically the whole game out of cover zero. If he wasn't sending people, he just went to a cover 2 shell. And for some reason, Brian Daboll, you couldn't find a way to beat it. So he just kept running it, kept running it, kept running it, kept running it, kept running it. You never made his safeties break a sweat. You never made their cornerbacks break a sweat. You never made their linebackers break a sweat. Only one that broke a sweat was the defensive line because they was trying to get after the quarterback all game long. But other than that, it was like a scrimmage to that defense out there, bro. So no, Brian Flores does not respect you as an offensive mind. And he does not respect your team. The reason why I know he doesn't respect you as an offensive mind because he kept doing the same thing the whole game. He never altered it once. He just lined them up. Play cover 2 or blitz. Play cover 2 shell, blitz. Play cover 2 shell, blitz. Play cover 2 shell, blitz. And it didn't matter what you threw at him. Brian Daboll, Brian Flores won in all aspects of the game as far as coaching. Mano, his defense versus your offense. And it's your offense because you took the play calling away from Mike Kafka. So there's no excuse with the play calling out there. And Brian Flores won that mano, punked you. As far as the product that was on the field. Now, I'm not totally blaming 100% on you for the offense not doing well. I'll give you 65, Daniel Jones 35. Let's split it between you guys. Well, Brian Flores got 100% A+ for his game plan against you, Brian Daboll. There's nothing you did that even made those boys sweat out there. You couldn't score in the red zone. You couldn't move the ball up and down the field. And when you did get in the red zone, they picked you off. You couldn't run the ball. You couldn't throw screens. You couldn't get the ball deep. You couldn't get the ball in the middle of the field. You couldn't get the ball to Slayton. Couldn't get the ball to Neighbors. Couldn't get the ball to Theo Johnson. Get it a little bit to Wan'Dale Robinson. You couldn't get 3rd and 2s. You couldn't get 3rd and longs. You couldn't get the chains moving. You couldn't keep, man, it's like you couldn't do anything against this man. And that's how I know they don't respect you as a coach. At least Brian Flores doesn't. Brian Flores took you to the woodshed and wore you out for 4 quarters. And that can't happen no more this season. Not like that. Because I actually think, Daboll, you are a pretty good coach. It's just that you have to come up with a new play. Like, run the play scheme that you were running last year. And if you don't feel comfortable with Daniel Jones at the quarterback, just bench him. Just bench him. Get it over with. Put DeVito or put Locke in there. Play the rest of the season out and get your quarterback next year. But don't continue to embarrass yourself like this. If DJ is that bad and he is not your guy, you gotta get him out of there. Call the plays you want the way you want to call the plays, because you had great protection in that game. It wasn't the best, but it's way better than what you previously had. Get him out of there. Bench him. You got to, bro, in order to save yourself. If he's not able to create the plays that you're putting out there on the field, if you're not able to call the plays that you want because of Daniel Jones, bench him. You're not going to have to worry about the money. You're able to get out the money next year. You're not going to have to worry about the media saying, oh, you're crazy, because what else can they say about Daniel Jones that they haven't said already? You've heard it all. Bench him. Don't sit there and keep playing him and not call the plays that you normally would call. If he can't do it, then just bench him. But don't let people like Brian Flores have the upper hand on you. Just bench him if he's not the guy that you want out there. And if you're under control of the powers that are on top of you, the powers that be with marrying them, I will force their hand. I will bench them, not play them, and force their hand. If you want this guy to play this bad, then fire me. And give me my money while I walk out the door. But you got to find out some way, somehow to get this offense to look at an NFL caliber offense, man. It's just that was awful yesterday, and there's no excuse for it. There's no excuse for Daniel Jones. There's no excuse for you. There's no excuse for the team. There's no excuse for anybody on this team to perform that way yesterday and allow this man to walk on MetLife Stadium's field like the big boss man. That can't happen anymore, Mr. Daboll. You can't be outcoached in that fashion. You can't be outcoached in that fashion. Tough, smart, dependable. That's what you said. I didn't see tough. Damn sure didn't see smart. And you showed that you couldn't be depended upon to get this team back to being motivated when things go rough. So your whole moniker was false in that very first game. Now, it was only the first game. You got Washington coming up. Normally, we could beat the Washington Commanders. But if you can't beat the Commanders, it's going to be a long, long, long season for you, brother. And I hope you survive. Because people like Brian Flores are only going to keep coming. Because that moniker is out there now that the Giants can be punked. So that has to change. And unfortunately, like I said, you may have to bench Daniel Jones. Because there's something about him that doesn't allow you to call the plays like you called with a Tyrod Taylor. You know what I'm saying? Like you called with a DeVito last year. So there's something about him that you don't like. And it's the reason why you call the plays the way you call those plays. But let's see if that changes next week against the Washington Commanders. I'd like to thank you guys for watching. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that big blue join button to join the Big Blue crew and talk your talk with Big Pat Sports Talk. Cop you some merch. Cop you some merch that you see in the screen at the bottom of the screen, man. We got a lot of new merch. The new Big Pat Sports Talk merch is in the shop. Got a new logo. Appreciate to Andrew for hit me with this logo. It's pretty dope. The Big Blue Crew Sports Network merch is coming out as well, so guys, be on the lookout for that. Also, speaking of the Big Blue Crew Sports Network, hit that like and subscribe button for the Big Blue Crew Sports Network, where you get to see the Big Blue Crew in one central location as well as other content creators. We're going to be giving you all sports all the time. Baseball, football, soccer, basketball. Doesn't matter what you like. We're going to have that on the Big Blue Crew Sports Network. Link is in the description. But until the next episode, fellas, you know what it is, man. Peace. This has been a Big Blue Crew Sports Network production.